Hello children, I'm just back with my new video. I hope you all are well and staying at your home safe. Now the fact is that children, first of all, I really apologize to all of you as because I could not just upload my videos periodically and continuously. You know children that the disaster had been just taken place, and for that reason I could not just upload my videos periodically, and for that reason I'm just asking you apology from you. Hope you can just understand. Okay, so in my last video I had just started a premiere over there, and the YouTube premiere that was on the railway system of India. Hope you all liked the videos. And now in this video I'm just going to discuss about the telegraph system in India. So I told you children that two important factors become very much inevitable for the English East India Company to just provoke and to just propagate their own messages, to boost up their colonial power, their colonial economy, to fulfill their colonial expectations, anticipations, everything in India. So just like the railway system of India, telegraph also had played a very vital role to just promote and to just provoke their colonial expansion over this subcontinent inside this country. So first of all, let me tell you that who was the inventor of the telegraph or the telegraphic system. He was Samuel Morse, who had just invented this system, the telegraph system. And what is the telegraph system? You hardly need any explanation, any definition of the telegraphic system, as because you all know about the physics and chemistry. You all know the physics very well. So that's why I don't think that you hardly need any explanation about the telegraph system. The telegraph, through the telegraph system, the messages, the short messages could be sent from one place to the distant places. Though it was a symbolical message, at present time what you just type inside our WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, so that kind of social networking, the social messages we could not send through these telegraphic lines, but by the telegraph or the telegraph system during that time. However, we can say that the Indians, they were very much benefited, especially the English East India Company and their officials, they were very much benefited. They got the benefits of the telegraphic system. In which way the telegraphic system had played a very vital role or a crucial role to just promote the British colonial expansion inside our country, inside this subcontinent, you will just come to know from this video. So this is my recommendation, children. Please don't just skip the video, watch till the end, and after the completion of the video, if you're having any doubt, any query, any question, just go to the comment section, just ask your question. I will get back to you at my convenient time. Okay, so I have already told you children that it was Samuel Morse who had he was the scientist who had just invented the telegraphic system. So inside our country, from when the railway line was established for the first time in the year of 1853 from Bombay to Thane, children, you have just come to know, in my last video I have already told you that what were the merits and the demerits of the railway system in India, what were the advantages and the disadvantages of introducing the railway system or the railway line in India. Just like that, just like the railway system, the British, they also just took up this opportunity to spread out the telegraph lines, to lay down the telegraphic lines in different cities inside this country. And what was the real intention of the English East India Company or the British government to introduce the telegraph system in India? You will just come to know shortly. Stay tuned with me. Okay, the fact is that as because you know children it very well, this is very transparent to you, that the telegraph line or the telegraph system was a very convenient messaging system through which a very short message, obviously a symbolic message, could be sent from one place to another place. Forward, the British, they also took this opportunity to just spread out, to just convey the message from one place to another. It could have been also possible for the British administrator, the supervisors at the time, just like the Governor General, the Viceroys of India, those, if they have a message with them, if they really wanted to just propagate, to just convey a message from one place to another, they could surely take the help of this telegraphic system, as because it was a very in a very short span of time, symbolically a message, it could be clearly sent from one place to distant place. place, distant place. Okay, so let me tell you that the first experiment of the telegraphic system in India, though there was not a very successful experiment that was done by the English East India Company during that time. It was in the year of 1850 when the first experiment of the telegraph, means a telegram was sent from telegraphic message was sent from Calcutta. During that time it was Calcutta, now it's Kolkata. So from Calcutta to Diamond Harbour a short message was sent. That was obviously an experiment, but finally publicly it was started in the year of 1854. I just repeat, publicly it was started in India in the year of 1854, and the first telegraphic system that was just introduced in India, and the system worked from Bombay, now it's Mumbai, to Pune. I just repeat once again, from Bombay, now it's Mumbai to Pune, the first telegraphic message was sent. Now what was the benefit of this kind of system, of introducing this kind of system in India? Two important events simultaneously I will tell you, through which you will just come to know that why did the British administrators become quite enthusiastic for promoting this kind of telegraph system in India. The first thing is that in the year of 1852 the second Anglo-Burmese War was fought. I repeat, in the year of 1852 the second Anglo-Burmese War was fought, and in this battle, in this war, that was occurred in the month of April. In the second battle, in the second war, means Anglo-Burmese War, the Burmese, they were ruthlessly suppressed by the British soldiers, and this information, the news of this victory, the news of the victory of the English East India Company was clearly just sent back to the then Governor General of India. Obviously he was Lord Dalhousie. You know, children, that during that time Lord Dalhousie was the Governor General of India. This question is also very much important for you. In your short question, this question may also come, that who was the Governor General of India when the second Anglo-Burmese War was fought? This can be a very tough, not tough, but a very tricky question for you. So you have to just listen me so carefully. That's what I'm saying repeatedly, don't just skip the video, that when the second Anglo-Burmese War, it was fought in the year of 1852, and when the Burmese, they were defeated by the British soldiers. So the news, it was given from Rangoon. You know, children, Rangoon during that time it was the capital of Burma. So the news was sent from Rangoon to Calcutta through this telegraphic system or the telegraphic line. So this was also very much important for the British government, British administrators, to just spread out, to just provoke, to just convey a message from one place to another. I told you that two important events I will tell, and the second one is in the year of 1857. Sepoy mutiny broke out. This can also be called the Great Revolt of 1857. Perhaps you don't know anything about the Great Revolt of 1857. In my next video, if it is possible, I will definitely tell you about the 1857 revolt, or the Great Revolt of 1857, or the Sepoy mutiny of 1857. That is a part of your chapter number 5. So I hope, I anticipate that by my in my next videos I can just tell you, I will just definitely explain you that what was a 1857 revolt. Okay, so when the 1857 revolt broke out, the clash took place between the Indian sepoys and the English East India Company and their soldiers. So when the clash, it first just broke out Murshidabad, Berhampur. The news also just spoke from Berhampur to Calcutta through this telegraph in the year of 1857. So children, perhaps you have just come to know that what was the real intention of the British government and the English East India Company and their officers to just get all the informations, day-to-day informations from one place to the distant places, sitting at a distant places. They could just easily get the information what is going on inside the country. Now I will tell you the extension of the telegraphic system or the telegraphic lines in India. The first thing is that in the year of 1852, when only 46 telegraphic lines were established in India, whereas at the end of the 19th century, total 52,000 900 miles were covered by the telegraph lines in India. I repeat, in the year of 1852 only 46 telegraph lines were available inside our country, inside this subcontinent, whereas at the end of the 19th century 52,900 miles were covered by the telegraphic system. So not only the Indians were benefited, I mean the British and the British officers were not only benefited by the use of the telegraphic system or the telegraphic lines. At the end of the 19th century, the educated Bengali middle class or the Bengali intelligentsia, they also came to know about the merits of the telegraph system. So that's why they became also very much enthusiastic to just use. They became quite just they used to be absolutely with this telegraphic system in India. They could just easily get to they could easily just come to know the information about the different persons. They could send the messages from one place to another place. So this was the thing. And finally what has happened in the year of 1870, when the direct communication that was also just started between India and England, as because the telegraphic line and the telegraph main system was very much developed by this year, in the year of 1870. So now it became quite important. Now it became quite beneficial for the British government to come to know that what was going on inside their colony, inside this country, inside this subcontinent. So they could just go far better. They could just go far away for spreading their colonial expansion, for colonial power inside this country, inside this subcontinent. So I mean to say that railway system and telegraphic system, they were absolutely interdependent. As because in which way? As because when the railway communication system became very much important inside our country, when the railway communication was started since 1853, between the two different platforms from one station to another, through which the connection or the communication could be made. At the time, the telegraph helped a lot. The telegraphic system helped a lot, as because that for the signaling purposes, the telegraphic system was also very much important. You know, children, that for what purpose it was just used. For the signaling purpose also, the telegraphic system was also very much important. The telegraphic system also played a very vital role for the signaling system in the railway system, for the railway, for a smooth railway communication in India. So that's why I do say that the telegraphic system and the railway line or the railway system in India were two different forms, two different phases of a single coin. Forward the British, they become successful to spread out their colonial expansion inside this subcontinent. Okay, so this was the first topic. Hope you have just understood that what is the real motive of the English East India Company and the British officers to just promote the telegraphic system in India. Now I will tell you that the drain of wealth. This theory is very important, children. Drain of wealth. If you just listen me so carefully with rapt attention, I'm pretty sure about that you will just definitely come to know that what is the theory and how did the theory become one of the most important parts of our nationalist leaders. Actually, the nationalist leader whose name was Dadabhai Naoroji, most of you you have just come to know, you know the name before, that Dadabhai Naoroji, one of the nationalist leader who had just played a very vital role in our Indian freedom struggle movement. He, in the year of 1867, listen very carefully, Dadabhai Naoroji in the year of 1867, in his book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. I just repeat the name of the book once again for your betterment. In the year of 1867, Dadabhai Naoroji, one of the most important nationalist leaders of Indian freedom struggle movement, in his book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India, he had explained for the first time the drain of wealth. Now, what is drain of wealth? Now, let me just split the sentence. Drain, what is the meaning of drain? You know it very well. For what purpose is drain used for? So, drain is basically used for to just for the swift flow of the dirty water from one place to another. For that purpose we do just use the drain. So in this way we can just flow the dirty water or the untidy water from one place to another place, isn't it? So for that reason, in front of our house the drain can be just found. Okay, so just like that, in the after 1813, as because after 1813 English East India Company, they had just lost their monopoly in doing trade inside our country, especially in Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. Since that time, as because the industrial revolution had been taken place already inside their country in England, for that reason the British, from this point of view, they had just changed their trading policies, everything. They had clearly stated that only the raw materials can be just exported from India to Britain, to London. Otherwise, no finished products, no finished materials will be sent back to their country. Why so? As because previously they were very much enthusiastic for just collecting the finished products, cotton cloths, garments and all these things from our country to their own country. But when the Industrial Revolution broke out, there was a very good market was made inside their country. Few cities became also very much important or prominent during that time, just like Lancashire, Manchester, Liverpool, Oxford. Different cities were there, different cities were just there inside their country, and for that reason so many factories were made, so many mills were set up, and they clearly stated by passing different act or issuing different laws, they had clearly stated that from now onwards the English East India Company and their merchants, as because they were the mercantile communities. What is the mercantile communities? Mercantile communities basically work for their own betterment. They don't think that whether the country where I'm just going to do the trade, they can survive or not. Their only intention was to just invest the money, capital, and to just take out the profit from there. So this was the real motto or aims of their lives. Finally, they clearly stated by issuing different types of laws, they clearly stated that no Indians, not a single goods will be just collected, it will be just exported from India to their own country. No, they did not stop the flow of the raw materials. Raw materials will be sent, as because for promoting for promoting this kind of factory, this kind of mill, raw materials was very much essential. So that's why they clearly stated only raw materials will be exported from India to their own country, and whereas the finished products or the raw materials the finished materials will just come, it will be just imported from their own country to our country. So that's why Indian peoples, the Indian weavers, tailors, they become jobless, occupationless. So that's why this was the deindustrialization. The opposite condition of the Industrial Revolution is called the deindustrialization, whereas the industrialization took place in Britain, in England, in the year of 1760. Just like the opposite condition prevailed over there inside our country, inside the subcontinent, that is called the deindustrialization. Suppose this is a finished product, this is a mobile phone, this is a finished product, and that has been just produced inside our country in India. I'm just going to sell it in the market in Britain, in London. It will not be possible, as because this is a finished product. But if this is not a finished product, suppose these are the raw materials, these are the raw material, this is a raw material, this is a raw material. So raw materials can be just given over there for making this product. So Indians previously, they could just make their own garments, clothes, everything, and that could be just the excessive or the surplus production, it could be just sold to their market. But finally, when they started to just make their own garments, cotton cloths, etc., they only used to collect the raw materials that were very much essential and important for making their clothes, cotton cloths, garments and all these things. So India turned a situation, the situation was absolutely turned from a exporter to an importer. So importer in which way? As because India had to import all those raw materials, sorry, not raw materials, all those finished products from Britain to our own country. So that's why in this way, since 1813, when the situation became absolutely different for the Indians, since that time what has happened, the British, they had just drained out all the assets of India to their own country. So this is called the drain of wealth. So the wealth that had drained away from India to their own country, and this incident, this thing, this policy came to be known as this theory came to be known as the drain of wealth policy, that was propagated in the year of 1867 by Dadabhai Naoroji in his book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. Though he was not only the only person that he had just propagated, it was also later on it was propagated by a nationalist leader, not leader, he was most importantly he was a historian. His name was R.C. Datta, Ramesh Chandra Datta, in his book the Economic History of India, that was published in the year of 1899. He also had given the same explanation by which the Indians, they were just supposed to just give all their assets, all the money, treasures and jewels, everything they had just given to the British. Not they had given, the British intentionally, they had just plundered all these things from India and they had just taken it away to their own country. This incident came to be known as the drain of wealth. In the year of 1901, a person, he was M.G. Ranade. His name is M.G. Ranade. The full form of M.G. Ranade is Mahadev Govind Ranade. Most of you have just come to know this. He was also very much social reformer. So Mahadev Govind Ranade, he had just also written a book in the year of 1901. It was, the name of the book was An Essay of Indian Economics. I repeat, An Essay of Indian Economics, that was published in the year of 1901, where he also had just given the same idea, he also had given the same account, from where you have just come to know that Indian money, Indian assets, Indian wealth was absolutely drained away. The through means a very flow was there, just like water. I have just given the explanation, I had just given I had just given the example to you that in which way the through the drainage system, through the proper drainage system, the garbage or the dirty or the untidy water, it can just move from one place to another. So just like that, the drain was just cut down by the British government, through which they could just collect, they could just forcibly collect all the wealth, treasures and all these things from India. They had taken it to their own country. Not only that, what about the remittances? The remittances, the extra money, or the extra, it's a price that was just taken away from India, that was also taken out to their own country. It means assets, money, jewelries, everything, treasures, everything that was collected, that was forcibly collected from the Indians, and that was taken away to their own country. This flow of resources as well as this flow of assets or the wealth of India came to be known as the drain of wealth. That was first propagated by Dadabhai Naoroji. Dadabhai Naoroji was the propagator of this theory. He had just propagated this theory in the year of 1867, and this came to be known as the drain of wealth. And for that reason, India became quite poor. Extreme poverty was there. This is the poverty in India. The last topic you can see, you can search out from your book, that the poverty in India. For that reason only. So, as far I know, that the total national income, from total national income, approximately 6% was taken away by the British. And what is the total national savings? From the total national savings, 1/3 proportion was taken away by the British government from India to their own country. Can you imagine, children? As because indirectly the British, they became the real owner of this land, of this subcontinent. We the Indians, we had to just serve for, we are supposed to serve for them, serve under them, under the supervision of the Governor General either or the Viceroy General. Though the post were same, the one person who had just held this post, Governor General as well as the Viceroy. So this was the fact, we the Indians, we had nothing to do with the British, as because we could not just protest. We did not have such kind of talent, we did not have such kind of mentality. But finally, at the end of the 19th century, lots of peoples were there. Though previously, you can say, children, that the few revolts had been just taken place, but that were not the united protest that were just done. But later on, when the INC, Indian National Congress, was formed in the year of 1885, there was the first organized political association of India that was founded in the year of 1895, and the first president of INC was Umesh Chandra Banerjee. Since that time, the Indians, they became quite aggressive, and finally they had just started a violent protest movement against the British government, and finally we had just got our independence back from the clutches of the British government, and we become the actual owner of this land. So the railway system as well as the telegraph system also had played a very vital role, a crucial role for promoting the British expansion, obviously the colonial expansion, the colonial oppression or the suppression over here in the inside our country, in this subcontinent. And finally in the year of 1947, 15th of August, what was done, what was happened, you know, children did very well. Okay, thanks for watching this video. If you're having any question, any doubt, any query just regarding this video, regarding this topic, you may just go to the comment section, just write and just ask your question. I'll be surely just get back to you. And so let's hope for the best, and stay at your home, stay safe. And that's all for today. Thank you.